Moonshot have just released their own launchpad. Now, this news is bigger than you might think. This is actually the biggest platform for quote unquote normies on retail that we've ever seen. I understand that we are the retail, obviously, we're not institutions, right? Obviously, we don't dish out financial advice. This is entertainment purposes, of course. But the normies use Moonshot. This is their app, this is their platform. And before, whenever you would get a Moonshot listing, these listings, number one, would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. These listings are very, very expensive. And number two, they would normally perform very, very good for the token because it would give them a lot of exposure and a lot of holders. We've seen that happen with Candle. We've seen that happen with Fartcoin. We've seen that happen with Gore. Most tokens that list on Moonshot do very, very well simply because you can buy tokens with Apple Pay. Now, this means that we have a big opportunity on our hands. Because as we know with launchpads, especially on this channel as you've seen, when we have for meme, we've seen the things like TST run to over 100 million. We called that 200K. Right? When we had obviously Candle TV, we've seen Candlezilla. We got in Candlezilla at 50K. It went to over 2 million. We're still holding that as well. I'm also actually still holding Candle. I think it should do okay. And also when we've seen other launch pads like Boop, etc., we also seen those tokens do very, very well. This dwarfs all of them combined. Moonshot is bigger than 4Meme. It's bigger than Candle TV. It's bigger than Boop as well. It's borderline as big as Pump Fund. This is the biggest launchpad that we've ever seen. And initially, when I was streaming and we was talking about this launchpad, kind of went over my head. Someone was in the channel and said, "Oh yeah, Moonshot kind of just launched something." I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "What? Moonshot?" I'm like, "Yeah, Moonshot." I said, "Moonshot." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Bro, I ain't sleeping, bro. I ain't fucking sleeping, bro. We've done this a lot to know exactly how big this is." Now, you can launch tokens directly through Moonshot simply by downloading the app, tapping the create icon, uploading your meme, and just launching as simply as that. Now, remember, past performances are not indicative of future results. I always have to do a lot of disclaimers on this channel as we're starting to grow. So don't expect you to be able to launch a meme and make loads and loads of money. That's not how it is. I'm just explaining the fact that this is exactly how you can launch it. And once your token actually hits a million market cap, then it bonds. So unlike Pump Fund, where your bonding is 50K, your bonding is a million on this. So it's completely changed the dynamics of meme coins and how they actually are. For a long time, I often thought, where do we go for meme coins? I actually made tweets about this. I said, where do we see the future of meme coins going? Because right now it's just becoming a bunch of people, quote unquote, vamping each other with not a lot of money. If you see $5, $10 buy, there'll be 500 holders of a token that's sub 50K market cap. For me, that just wasn't adding up long term. It's the reason why a lot of people move to perps. In fact, I made a video about this quite recently. So what's next? This means that whales are going to actually be more incentivized to get into these types of tokens. Right? We're getting back into the habit of bidding 1% supply, 2% supply. The reason is because your risk reward is very high. If a token bonds and goes from 10K market cap to a million, that's a lot. I think it's about 100x. Right? So it changes the complete dynamics of what we're looking at. And then once it bonds, it's not going on a bonding curve like, oh yes, let's G bonding for a Pump Fund project, to be honest. And what's the next narrative? No, because there's such a big gap. And it's going to be very hard for those tokens to make it. So once they get there, they tend to last. They tend to last a little bit longer. And you've seen a lot of these tokens actually maintain at 400K post bonding. And we'll get into some of those tokens in a moment. So, just literally in the past 24 hours, all of this stuff has unfolded. And it's really given a new wave and a new breath of life into the space. And I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to be able to be actually trading these types of tokens. And I don't know if a lot of people are going to get this, just how big this is. So let's go over some of the launches, right? We've been trading these launches and we've been trading on GMGN. If you like to trade on GMGN, it's the best place to actually trade these specific tokens, to trade these Meteor dynamic bonding curve tokens. I've tried Axiom, I've tried Photon, I've tried obviously Bullex, Nova, etc. I've tried all of these, but GMGen is working for me great for these types of things, just with the speed of new creations, as you can see as they're loading, as well as the information that it's showing as well, and the charts. I've not had one chart lag on GMGN for this specific task. So it's really, really worked for me well to actually find these tokens. So the biggest tokens is obviously C-Shot. I don't even know if I can even go over that. C-Shot, this one, the reason why this one hit 1.5 million, as you can see right here, it peaked out at about 3 or 4 million. This was because of the blacklisted names. Now, this was a blacklisted name. It wasn't supposed to be allowed to bond, but it was actually further along the, across the curve. So a lot of people obviously got into it. It's a very memeable name as well. And it pushed up, it did very, very well. Again, 50K all the way up to 4 mil. Next, we have the get rich quick button. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that you can buy it and get rich quick. This is just simply the name of the token. Past results are not indicative of future success, all of that stuff there. But you can see it went from, again, 50K. This one actually launched and instantly spawned to 100K. So something fishy was already happening there. Ran up to 1 mil. So bonded in the space of 3 hours. And then proceeded to run to about 5 mil. And has been CTO'd by the likes of Lexapro as well, and other big KOLs in the space. So this is definitely one to look out for as well. If you like the larger market caps, you can see I actually faded this one because it was already at 300K. I was like, is it going to bond? I didn't really understand it, but I understand the memeable factors of it and the reason why I actually managed to get there. So that's great. And it actually is now sitting at 4.7 mil. Then we also have one of the biggest tokens on there being Mooncoin as well. Mooncoin sat at 5.4 million, peaked out about 10 million. I made about, it says $2,000. I actually made about a little bit more. I think I have, what was else was I trading on? I think I was trading on Phantom as well. But yeah, this was okay. It was about 7x return. I could have performed a little bit better on this, but again, it ran to 5 million and a little bit higher as well, 10 million at all-time high. This has become the main token of Moonshot. So I do expect this to do very, very well. I think I might wait a few days, see if it dies down, and actually scoop up a decent amount of supply of this again and look for it to go on another run, because I do think we see a 20 to 100 mil runner. It's a new launch pad. There's always one. Moonshot doesn't have a token, so there will be a token which kind of represents the platform itself and its success. You know, if we look at Bonk, what have Bonk done? They have useless token. Useless out is at 150 million, right? What do we have now? Mooncoin, Moonshot. Maybe that is also one which performs very, very well and starts to get centralized listings. We'll see how this develops. But I've already seen it on Mexi. If I start to see it go on other launch pads, sorry, over CEXs as well, then it's a no-brainer for me personally to look to get into that. It might be a little bit higher for you guys though. Peaked at 10 mil, currently at 5.7. And then we also see another coin over here, Pedromas. Pedromas is actually curling back up. I might have to get back into it. I don't want to. I took a big loss on this. I closed for a 3K loss, which is quite a lot for my stream. I don't like taking 3K losses on stream wallets because obviously we trade so many tokens. But it is recovering very, very well. I don't really see much of a community for this, so I don't know if it becomes what it says. The law for this was very, very strong, but I don't really see the community behind this project as we've seen as well. But this is looking okay. And then we have some newer coins as well. One of the main ones which I'm really, really looking at was DIH, because it was a TikTok trend, but that didn't really catch on. It became a little bit PvP. One which is looking very good right now, which actually I must say is actually Fefe. Fefe being the animal, or you guys know Pepe the Frog, but it is the purple Pepe. And this is something which I've been accumulating quite a lot of. The reason is because if we're talking about a normie chain, we're talking about quote unquote normies, then people are going to look for what's the easiest related things. They're not really going to look for anything really unique. I don't really think people really even understand lore or law. They're going to look for basic narratives to follow. So that's the reason why I think Get Rich Quick did very well. Moon coin is very simple as well. And then obviously you have Purple Pepe. This is Pepe the Frog. Everybody knows Pepe the Frog. This is the purple version for Moonshot. It's like actually when you have different whole entire blockchains as well, which is the reason why the concept just kind of makes sense for me. So I've accumulated a decent amount of supply for that. Target, I do think it bonds at least. So bonding is 1 million, it's 10x from here. And then if it actually holds up, it can do very, very well because again, Pepe the Frog, Purple Pepe, super simple. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Now I am using a lot of new creations and I'm cycling through a lot of new creations simply because the risk to reward for me is so high. I'm comfortable with the fact that this might be a little bit of a higher risk for me, but I also know that if any of these token bonds and they actually do catch on, they could do very, very, very well. Okay, so that's it pretty much for the chain, right? I don't want to make this video too long because it's going to be on YouTube, but we have a completely new launch pad. Huge opportunity here. I can't stress this enough. And I'm just looking for new communities. I'm looking for new communities that we can find that are going to perform very, very well. These narratives last longer than you think. A lot of people are just in this hamster wheel of new creations and this TikTok brain of zero point 0.1 soul to a soul. And it just traps them in this crabs in a bucket mentality. And, I listen to people, I speak to people all day, 24/7. I really do have a very good understanding of the retail mindset, the normie mindset, as well. And I'll just say this: if that is you, if you're stuck in that hamster wheel of struggling to get profitable on chain for meme coins, then I really suggest stop looking at the charts, start looking at the meme itself and thinking about the meme. That's completely going to change it. Forget about bundles and this wallet and that wallet and wallet tracking and what's this guy doing and how much money is this guy made and what's this and what's that. Focus on yourself, focus on your meme and make it fun again. If you actually enjoy doing what you do, you're gonna have a lot more success. And I'm sure you guys know if you enjoy what you do, you're never gonna work a day in your life. If you enjoy meme coins, you're gonna have a lot of fun. And it's gonna seem like you're getting very lucky, but you'll notice that you'll have a lot more success in the game as well. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you do want to trade, you can trade on GMGN, links in the description. If you want to get a 7-day free trial for the trenches where we actually found all of these tokens are very, very low market cap, you can join for 7 days for free. Links in the description. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the trenches.